What's up, y'all? It's your girl Stacy the Intuitive, back with another video, back with a new angle. I'm kind of liking this. This is very convenient and easy for me, so I might be filming like this going forward. But I really wanted to come here and share an important download with you guys. A download that's going to help you guys to really tune into what it is that you're wanting, to really learn to trust your intuition, trust yourself more, trust God more, and trust the path more. One of the biggest questions in this spiritual path, in a path that you walk of trying to, attune to your authenticity, whatever path that you walk of trying to find yourself and trying to learn more about the world, trying to learn more about God, there's always this questioning of whether or not you're perceiving correctly. If you know, you know. Whether or not you're perceiving correctly, whether or not you're getting it right, whether or not what you're perceiving is actually possible, right? For me, this has been a battle that I've had for quite some time. I would question the energies I would be receiving. Time and time again, God has shown me the only difference between what I have and what I want is my belief in them. My ability to see them, feel them, and tune into them. What I have, it's tangible, it's there. There is no questioning about whether or not it exists within the material or within the energetic or whatever. There's no questioning it because it just simply exists. The things that I want, right? There's questioning if it's real, if it's the reality of the situation, if it can indeed unfold that way, or if I'm just making it up, if I'm just, lost in the sauce. And something that's been put on my heart and my mind lately is this notion that we all too often neglect what the key of these situations are, and the key just so happens to be us. The things that help us to unlock the truth, the validity, the everlasting resonance that we have with the things that we perceive, with the things we're calling in, with the things that we want, comes from our uniqueness, comes from our authenticity. The reason your path can unfold the way that it can is because it's you. You might not have seen it in anyone else. It might be totally unrealistic. You might not see another person in the whole world experience the same unfoldment that you have. And the unfoldment might be something crazy. You're like, are you serious? Like, this doesn't make sense. This has been one of my biggest phrases in receiving energies, because I had been heavily in resistant to a lot of the energies that God has been trying to send me for the past few years. Extremely in resistance because it never made sense to me. It never like could be put into logical, sensical, explanation. And so I would sabotage from that place because I'm just like, it didn't make sense, right? And I kept trying to make sense of things that didn't make sense. But the reason that this path is so much about learning who you are is because none of the things that are going to unfold for you, none of the blessings, none of the miracles, none of the magic, none of the lessons that come through for you are going to make sense to anyone that's not you. So when you walk a path and you begin to question, how do I know if this is for me? How do I know if this is right? Well, that's easy. Do you know yourself? Why would God unfold a path like this for no one other than you? Well, it's because it's meant for you, right? Maybe you walk a path and you're like, there's no way that I'm just gonna, like, maybe you're receiving these, this is just like a out there example, but you're receiving these intuitive insights and feelings that I'm gonna find $10,000 of unclaimed money somewhere. And you're like, there's no way that's gonna happen. There's no way. You're like, it just doesn't make sense. That doesn't happen. But the feelings are very real. The intuition is very real, right? And the only thing stopping you from attuning to that is this inability to see beyond the veil. This inability to pair your logic, your perspective, your perception of reality with something outside of that. So what about when you begin to understand that these very little things that make no sense, that have no reasoning why they should have emerged in that way, when you begin to understand that those very things are a reflection of the uniqueness within you, then you get to be like, whoa, like this stuff is happening for me? Like this is the reason that it doesn't make sense is because it's me? It's not a universal concept. It's something that is emerging directly from the core of my being. that doesn't have to be proven or disproven with any external factors rather than other than what resides within me. I hope that you guys are receiving this message because it has really transformed things for me. As I navigate around this path, which the path really does require flexibility, is what I'm learning, right? Flexibility is the ability to really move amongst the currents gracefully, the ever-changing currents with grace, because things are going to change, things are going to shift, but the constant in all of that will always be you, will always be God, will always be your truth, where your path is leading you. And when you can attune to that, the navigation happens like no other, guys. And that's the crazy thing, is it's like we find this whole thing of trying to navigate the ins and outs. We try to create a step-by-step how we're going to get there, unknowing that that step-by-step was never going to be the thing, because the step-by-step is identified only in who we are. The steps are identified by who we are. What this path is going to unfold like is identified by who you are. So you better be expecting the miraculous, the unexpected, the impossible. Right? For me, these things started coming through, and I'm just receiving like a lot of clairsentient, and just like the clairs are coming through, but a lot of clairsentient, some clairaudient things, intuitive messages. And I'm like, this makes no sense. Like, why am I feeling this when my reality is so contradictory? And in the past, that really sabotaged me. My external reality was slightly contradictory in whatever way, and I would move in that. I would need things to make sense. I would go and chase information and knowledge and things like that. And only through this path of chasing information and knowledge and releasing the need for information and knowledge was I able to attune to the things that are unexplainable. Only through seeing the value of the information and knowledge, specifically that I gained about myself in this world, was I able to see the beauty and the value and the things that don't make sense. Because it's where things don't make sense that possibility happens. Straight up. When it doesn't make sense, and where you're looking for possibility is deemed outside of the realm of possibility, it'll only limit you in your reality. It is so important to know that the only validation you need of truth is within you. Do not go searching this world. Do not go knocking on God's door, trying to ask God why. Why you're perceiving things like that. Why this is happening. Why it's unfolding this way. Because the answer is already within you to why it's unfolding this way. A lot of us do not navigate this life with the mindset of learning and exploration. And so we miss out on the things that tell us our next steps. The unfoldment of my path right now totally makes no sense to me. And a couple of days ago, I was like grappling with that, because it was really hitting me, that polarity in how things don't make sense, in contradiction with my own inner knowing. And I'm like, I rely more so based on logic and things like that. Like it has to make sense. That's why I am on a pursuit for knowledge, truth, and information. But that negates the very existence of inner knowing. Inner knowing is a powerful force. Inner knowing is your connection to absolute truth. Absolute truth resides only within God. Right? So like I was saying, the path that I'm walking right now, although it makes very little sense, although the unfoldment seems unnatural, that very notion of it being unnatural is a testament to my uniqueness. I think that there is this underlying notion that we hold about what uniqueness truly is. And although we want to think of ourselves unique, there are still confines to that uniqueness that don't allow us to see beyond what has been, validated and things like that. Let me better explain that, because that was very wordy. We think of uniqueness and we say, okay, like I'm quirky, I'm unique, whatever. Oops, sorry. But oftentimes we don't allow ourselves to go beyond what is conventional uniqueness. When it really gets down to the magical, to the serendipitous, to the auspicious, right? To the divine things. That's a game that none of us know how to play all the time. It becomes a thing of like, oh, I'm not really sure about that. I'm not trying to grapple in that. Especially for me, because I don't like to assert things that I don't know. So if I'm feeling these like nonsensical feelings and things like that, and like intuitive promptings, I usually don't like to lean in that direction in terms of looking at it as absolute truth. I usually like to, try to keep a little bit of room for error. But I'm being challenged right now to let go of that room for error, because I will never fully trust myself or God if I don't learn to leap and let go. I believe of myself unique, but God is challenging me in questioning, how unique do you think you are? Can you see a path that millions have walked with a single result, with a similar result, and see your path be completely divergent from that and actually trust it and believe it? Can you see that? Can you believe in that? Can you actually take the time, take the sacrifice of attuning to that and letting it be your truth? At some points I probably would have said no. Recipe for disaster, I probably would have said. But here I am right now, and I'm like, this totally would unfold this way for me. Like, I don't care about how it's unfolded for people. It's like in those places, the unexpected places is where you find yourself, guys. Like, that's what I'm learning, right? This had to unfold in a completely auspicious and out there way in order for me to gain this understanding. I'm going to continue to share this because I think this is an important path to walk. But it's in those very unexpected, impossible circumstances that you need to lean towards the impossible so that you can get the truth about your true uniqueness, about how God created you and how your path was meant to unfold, completely different than the people around you, than the notions around you, than the vibrations around you. I hope this makes sense. But it's really hitting, and I have to break this download down more because it's multidimensional. It has lots of layers. But I really am grateful to be able to sit here and just do like downloads straight from my own crown and third eye connection to God, right? Guys, I'm really encouraging you here to just step out of your perception of what's possible. Step out of what you deem as possible. There's so much more God is trying to show you. And you need to look in those places where you feel like there is nowhere for you to go, and you need to start pondering and considering the possibilities of there being another way for you, especially if you felt very strongly about something, especially if you felt intuitively guided to something. You need to start thinking about the other potentials. You need to start questioning your beliefs. You need to start looking in the opposite direction, because I have been, for this past week, been asking God to help me through this process, and a lot of my prayer has been, help me to see what I can't see, help me to expand my mind, things like that. Because without that mind expansion and things like that, I was never going to be able to see. Right? So you need to be asking for that expansion. You need to be asking why, not in the way that I told you not to before, but you need to be asking why, in the sense that, what is my why? Why did I go through this? What are you trying to show me? What are you teaching me? What's more? What's more? I hope this resonates. I hope you guys receive this message. I really hope you do, okay? I hope it makes sense, most importantly. But maybe it doesn't make sense, and maybe that's the point. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.